Hey.
Hey.
It's warm-up time.
All right. What time is it?
Vader time.
Yeah.
What? A.
Okay.
Push the button.
Push the button.
Yes.
Push it back. Push it back.
The button.
Push
Button
play.
division.
Way back.
Push it good.
Oh my god.
Whip it good.
Tipo.
Can
Classic.
I hear you?
Let's go.
Welcome in, everybody. We are live for another edition of the NoDQ review. This is episode number 351. We are joined by a lot of our NoDQ faithful here on the panel and in our chat room, whether you're here live or on demand. We appreciate you. Leave a comment and send in a super chat. We'll be happy to read it. So first up here, our OBG1, not Grayson Waller, with good internet connection, is here. How are we doing, Big G?
I'm doing good. Getting ready for spooky season. As you can see in the background, possibly you can see my Michael Myers decor in the background. Other than that, we got some good topics tonight, and like I always say, let's get this ball rolling, baby.
Absolutely. I too love Austin Powers, so I'm right there with you. Just kidding. I know you're talking about Halloween. So we also have Jeff Meacham in here. How you doing, Big Meach?
Good to be back. Had a great weekend. Got to spend a little time at the Hollywood Bowl, seeing Cyndi Lauper do her thing on stage for the last time. So cool to be part of that and celebrate my friend's success, both that night with my friend on keys and the next night for my friend Ariel's birthday and album release. Life is good, brother. You know, I had a little shaky day yesterday. I'm sure for those of you I worried yesterday, I do apologize, but I'm here and I'm ready to talk a little wrestling as only NoDQ can do.
Yeah, I was worried about you.
We're happy to have you. He was an alternate and was able to step up. Colin was supposed to be here. He will be missed. We love having him on. Looks like he is also in the chat. So how you doing, Cleaver? Also here is the simple man, the predictions man, Noah Foster. How we doing?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to September. Hello, NoDQ Galaxy and fam. Good to be back here once again. Been a busy day at work, but I'm ready to talk some wrestling and engage in the conversation. This should be fun to say the least. And of course, you and I have, of course, predictions post-mortem tomorrow night regarding Clash in Paris. But tonight should be interesting considering what's ahead the fall season besides the spookiness y'all are in. Me, indifferent. But this should be fun. Good to be back here again, Gino. Let's get right into it.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to these two topics that we got for you guys today, so stay tuned. And as always, the reliable man himself, always here, one of the originators here. We have our ORM not doing moderator duties. He gets to sit back, he gets to share his honest opinions with all and respond to these questions. Virtue, how are you today?
Well, now that I don't moderate every week, the weeks I don't moderate, I can take the weeks off. I think I did that at least once. So, but yes, I'm normally reliable. But when I have to moderate, I am here. But, you know, that's what you're doing tonight. And I just get to give my opinion. So it's good to be here. Let's go. I got a hard exit at 8 o'clock. I ain't putting up with Psychojet Black or anybody else's spamming. So let's get this going. Yep.
Oh, well, he's already here. So it seems like we shall see how that goes. We will try to be quick with it. We also have our boss here, the big man, the NoDQ.com originator, the man who is going to try to beat Piranha Plant, Aaron Rift. How we doing?
Trying.
Maybe this weekend. We'll see. Stay tuned to the NoDQ channel and the NoDQ socials and my own page at Aaron Rift. It's been a fun few days. Labor Day weekend was fun. But now, the day after Labor Day, as far as I'm concerned, we transition into Halloween season for September and October. It's just all Halloween season from this point forward until the 31st. It's great to have the Simple Man, Noah Foster with us. It's always awesome to have good old JM Jeff Meacham joining us for the occasion. And with internet working properly, the real Big G, the OBG1 Big G with us tonight. And of course, the original moderator and a fixture on the No DQ review, Virtue. And of course, Gino, the moderator with his epic music from last week. I will not play it though, because we want to try to get through this as quickly as possible. Psycho Jet Black is here though. So Virtue, you might have to just,
but 8 o'clock. I mean, I'm not moderating, so 8 o'clock you can go down to 5. I mean, that's what's nice.
He's out of here. That's it. He's telling you now.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not going to leave high and dry if something like Big's being discussed, but who knows?
Shit.
all right. Well, here we go.
We will see.
Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Thank you, Psycho Jet Black. Says Big G versus Grayson Waller. G on a pole match.
Bro.
Would that be like Booker versus Ahmed Johnson for the letter T at Super Brawl?
Yes,
Yes.
very
It's supposed to be
similar.
street fight.
Certified G.
We have to get like an actual,
There you
like,
go. Have Enzo referee it.
Next.
yes, get like one of those. You know what they do for the birthday parties? What do they hit it with? The piñata.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Make
go.
it, make a letter G piñata and have them try to break it
That
with a
only
stick.
works if we have Ed Ferrara at ringside going pinata, and for no reason.
Oh, Lord.
All right. What do we got next?
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Says
Oh, jeez.
Big G is the master of the G spot, not Grayson Waller.
Wow,
Sounds good.
That's
GG.
that's a hell of a super chat for $2. Psycho, good on you, brother.
Big G, you're over. You're over tonight.
He's over like Rover. That's right.
I'm over like Grover, baby.
There you go.
All right.
Can we
and,
save that one super chat for when the topic comes, or do you want to read that one as well?
what, Caleb Jacobs?
Yeah.
Yeah, say that.
Caleb, we're going to save it. I'm not going to forget it. Caleb doesn't like when I wait 2 minutes to answer a
What's
super
it?
chat. So, Caleb, we will get to it. I promise you. It's saved. Psycho Jet Black has a $2 super chat. Since this is off topic, we'll get to this one first.
Yeah.
If The Rock wins an Oscar, does that mean no more matches? He thinned down quite a bit. Virtue, what do you think's happening with The Rock right now?
It makes sense now what happened. All of a sudden, like, he just stopped showing up. As soon as we knew he was cast in the Scorsese film, which hasn't even, I don't even think that starts filming till next year.
Nope.
He disappears from WWE. We hear the critics love the new movie coming out where he plays MMA fighter, and he tones down kind of like Batista did. So he's crying at the film festivals, but he is auditioning for an Oscar, showing that I'm a diverse actor. I can change my body type. That wrestling carny crap is behind me, and I'm going to film with Scorsese next year. He is all in Hollywood more than he ever has been, and I've given up all Roman Rock, anything else, especially when I see what I've seen in the last few days. It makes sense on why he's done that. He's full-blown Academy. If you thought he was already all in with Hollywood, he's all in with Hollywood now.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Absolutely.
I think he's done. I don't think he's wrestling again. It was a nice idea to do the match with Roman Reigns, but then of course fans wanted Cody. They got Cody. They had Rock pin Cody just in case they did the match, and then they did that angle the night after WrestleMania. But The Rock never really committed to it, and yeah, like Virtue said, he's got his Hollywood career back on track, and I would be surprised if he wrestles again at this point. I really do think he's done.
Same.
He's 53, right?
Yeah.
I think his days in the ring are over, unfortunately. But Caleb, we'll get to your super chat in just a little bit when we talk about that topic. Gino, I'll throw it over to you.
Absolutely. And that's right. I am your moderator, Mean Gino, wearing my Peacock feather for NBC for Peacock, because we are here to talk about our first topic here. Let me take you back. March 18th, 2021, midway through the Thunderdome era, the WWE rights went to Peacock. Fast forward to Sunday night, Peacock streamed its final premium live event with Clash in Paris. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence, they are the most expensive streamer with ads. They have raised their prices even though they offer less than you could argue every other streamer does. And now that it's over, we don't have to use it anymore. The fast forwarding and then the rewinding, the app was just not really good for trying to catch a wrestling event if you didn't start it right away when it started. It was frustrating, to say the least. Now they're losing the WWE, and as we've all known, it's going over to ESPN. We got WrestlePalooza coming later this month. So I want to throw it around to you guys and the panel and everybody in the chat, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on demand. From 2021 to now in 2025, the end of summer, what were some of your standout favorite or least favorite moments, matches, precedents that have been set? Anything that you want, something from this era of WWE being on Peacock. And I would like to throw it over to our ORM Virtue to hear your thoughts first. Take it away.
Okay. Well, first of all, so I went from a $9.99 WWE Network to when they moved over to Peacock. I remember, because I didn't care about ads, I remember paying $4.99, and then every time like they'd try to jack my price up or whatever, I remember saying, "Oh, I was going to cancel," and they would immediately let me get back in for like $2.99 a month or $4.99. I don't think I paid more than $5.99 or $6.99 for Peacock since I've had it, because I would, do the attempt to cancel and then, oh, well, stay, and here's 6 months of this price. So they can raise their prices now all they want. I'll continue to say, hey, I'm going to leave, and if they don't offer me, then I'm gone. Now, interestingly enough, when WWE leaves Peacock, Saturday Night Main Event will stay on there. So there'll be at least, 4 or 5 shows. So I don't know. I mean, that's going to be interesting. But what I remember with the Peacock era in WWE is the Bloodline. Now, I know the Bloodline started in late 2020, but like it really started getting going. And it all, like the big WrestleManias, it was Roman's run. So to me, the Peacock era of WWE PLEs was Roman's era. And yeah, it ended with Cody finishing his story and, of course, Cena and all that. But that's what sticks out to me. I really didn't go back and watch the old library on it because I kind of already did that with the WWE Network. Mm-hmm. So I would really just use it for the new PLEs. But then there was other stuff on Peacock that I'd watch, like movies and whatever. So I used the app quite a bit. And like I said, I didn't mind commercials, and I was able to keep a fairly decent price on it all the time. Yeah, I'm one of those. If I think I'm being charged too much, I'll go through the, hey, send me the cancellations. Oh, you want to keep me? I don't care, right? And it's not that I can't afford it. I'm just frugal with my money, and if a company's going to charge me less, I'm going to find a loophole. But it's the Roman Reigns era. I mean, we got, WrestleMania 39 when Cody didn't finish his story, then WrestleMania 40 when he finally did, and Roman was part of that, and it was magic. Punk got his first main event. There was some disappointments there, like the Cody Royal Rumble win when, maybe something else should have happened, so The Rock could have came back and it would have made sense for him to face Roman. That's a little disappointment part there, but, kudos to Peacock for throwing all that money to WWE and allowing us to watch it for cheap again. And it really kind of, for those of you that have to pay $30 a month for ESPN, that's going to be quite a big change. Like for me, I'm lucky my cable provider with, granted, right, until I can actually see it and do it, but they say I can use their credentials in the new app and I won't have to pay. Will my cable provider increase fees as the year goes by on other things to get their money? That's what they do. Again, I call them up, threaten cancellation. Oh, we can give you a 12-month promo. I'll just have to be on the ball with that stuff. But I don't know if I'm going to keep Peacock just for Saturday night main events. I guess that all depends on if Peacock will give me a deal still. But I'm not going to pay $10.99 a month with ads. Yeah, and again, I always do the with ads because I don't care about them. I'm so conditioned growing up in the 80s and 90s to have commercials as part of my watching things. It doesn't bother me because especially now with having devices like my Nintendo Switch 2 or a phone, I always have something to do while those commercials are playing. Ooh. So that's all I really have to say. It was the Roman Reigns, the Bloodline era. That's really all I remember from it, right? I mean, and that's a huge deal. Cody had his little part, he came back and did the whole story thing, and even Punk. But pretty good era, right? For 5 years, if you think
I would
about
say
it.
so.
And
Especially
WWE proved
dealing
the
with the
biggest that
pandemic.
they've ever been with in terms of how much they can sell their product for. I mean, it's insane.
It's brilliant. So people in the live chat are reminding me that the NXT premium live events will still be on Peacock. Virtue, has that moved the needle for you at all, or is it not?
Nah,
Yeah.
I kind of like, I keep up with NXT on like X and YouTube, so not necessarily. But that's cool though that they, have a few extra things on there. And that's what WWE has done. They've hoarded their product out to multiple streaming avenues, and they're getting bank from all of them. It's insane.
It's definitely smart to make money for them, so they're definitely doing that right. Even if they are, upsetting a few of the fans here that feel like they're going to have to pay a little bit more. But like you said, so there are other avenues and options, whether you get it through something or the other or whatever people are mentioning.
Go back to
VPNs, I know
cable.
Aaron's talked about that too. So
wait till cable merges with streaming, and all your streaming's located in one thing, and it's literally the future, cable/streaming. Right? Well, there's somebody's going to conglomerize all of it, and you're going to have to
be one big bundle.
Cable providers are going to have all the streaming rights. It's going to be crazy.
Yep, it's uncharted territory. So it's definitely what I would think of when you think of the future of watching stuff. So
why would I say that with because cable providers are internet providers. That's why I think that's a possibility of that all joining one bundle in the future down the road.
Absolutely.
But you can't do any of it without the internet. So
100%. As our next panelist knows, you do need internet to do anything. It is Big G. That's my segue. We're gonna go over to Big G. So you've heard what Virtue's had to say.
I can't laugh. Your sound effect.
The laugh track.
Really?
All right.
Really?
All of a sudden.
Really?
Well done. All right. So, Big G, what are your thoughts on your favorites, your least favorites, anything that happened during the Peacock era, the era of the cock, if you will?
The cock? Oh, sorry.
Let him know.
Era of the cock from the man who hits the spot.
Be serious here
Here it is, kids.
If I could be serious for a moment here. All right. So, Peacock, the PLEs were always great watching them. But, I also watched the other stuff that they did, like the documentaries that they came out with for WWE, like the Bray Wyatt one, the 24 series they did on a couple of the superstars, the shows that they did, like This Is Awesome, the best of WrestleMania, best of SummerSlam. And I would just go back and just rewatch some of those matches because, especially when the older matches, because I wasn't really watching wrestling before 1999. So it's great for me to go back and watch those matches. But I mean, I use Peacock too for other things. I watch my Law and Order shows on there, my Chicago PD, Fire, Med, all that on there. Movies that come out, if I don't want to go to the movie theaters and spend all that money, like when Halloween came out, Halloween Kill, Halloween Ends, I saw all those on Peacock, and I paid, I think at the time I was paying the premium, but now, and then like last month I got the student price because I'm in college, so I got it for like $2.99. But now that I have Xfinity, I don't have to pay for it all for like the next year or so. So I'm good on that.
See what I mean, G? That's gonna start happening more and more.
What's that?
Combos.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, I'm gonna still use Peacock regardless. But like you said, like Virtue said, pretty much the whole Bloodline era was on Peacock. We got to see Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble last year or this past year on Peacock. So I mean, and like Gino, I know you still use Peacock because your girlfriend watches all those reality shows and stuff like that. So once WWE, I'm sure eventually down the line, ESPN is going to buy the library from WWE to go on their platform, and then Peacock will just be NXT and Saturday Night Main Events. So, I don't know if I read it right, but is Saturday Night Main Event not going to be on NBC anymore, just Peacock?
Correct.
Okay. So yeah,
But
those
doesn't
are
that kind of
my quick
defeat the
thoughts.
purpose? Because you were getting in front of people who didn't who still had their traditional cable model, like
Right.
whatever.
They just don't want people canceling Peacock. That's the thing.
And more
Yeah.
people right
The
now are
wrestling
going away from
fan,
cable
yeah.
because ESPN's being dropped from them because they don't want to raise their rates to hold on to that broadcast. And cable providers and satellite providers have to raise
Yeah.
their rates. One
And
of my
then-
colleagues from Park literally canceled their cable subscription because it no longer is going to have the ESPN channels because
Yeah.
we're not buying that.
Well, and then when it comes to the whole ESPN thing bundle, I have Hulu for free through T-Mobile. So basically, I'm just paying for ESPN and Disney, and then Max, I get because I had the whole Disney Hulu Max deal going on, but I can get Max for $4.99 for being a student. So it all works out. I mean, granted, once I graduate in May of next year, I'll have to pay regular prices, but I can find ways around that.
My Harry Potter and DC fandom. Thank you for that. Max,
You're welcome.
Yeah. And remember now it's HBO Max. They fixed their mistake
Yeah,
of taking
HBO
away
yes,
that
they did
brand.
rename it.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
debating whether or not I was going to act like we couldn't hear Big G for that amount of time, but I didn't need Aaron ruining another joke I make with the laugh track. So we could hear you that whole time. It looks like whatever you've done, Big G has fixed it, proving Virtue's point that you need internet to do anything. So we're going to move on now to Jeff Meacham. Jeff Meacham, you know, a wrestling historian in your own right. How do you feel about the last couple of years for the Peacock era?
So, again, for me, you know, like Virtue, like Aaron, I grew up in the era we were paying $30-$40 a month just for the pay-per-views. So having it be on WWE Network, having it be on Peacock for $10 a month, and I think it's even now like 15 for the premium.
15.
Yeah.
It was a premium. Like, all right, sure, why not? And like a lot of people out there that didn't blow their gasket and jump the gun when the ESPN deal was announced. You know, number one, we have ESPN here at the house, and number two, being a Disney person, get a little bit of help on that. So there you go. For me, I will always remember the Peacock era, even though the first WrestleMania that was 2 nights was, I think, still on the network at that point. I could be wrong. But I remember the Peacock / pandemic era is what led us to 2-night pay-per-views, which, you know, Aaron and I talked about that for a lot of years, that, you know, God, these WrestleManias, you know, they're so stacked and there's still so many people on the roster. They could easily go 2 nights. And now here we are bitching because WrestleMania is 2 nights and SummerSlam's 2 nights and it's so damn much money. I know you're not bitching. You like it. You would prefer if they do everything in Europe, like you talked about the other night, because
Yes.
damn, is that not just lovely to be off the air before bedtime for
Before
you?
dinner. Yeah.
So good.
You lightweight.
Oh no. No, you know what? We've been doing this for 20 years. Piss off, Foster. Jesus. My God, we're old and feeble. We gotta get to bed. Anyway, I will remember it for the Bloodline. I will also remember it for the pay-per-view cost on broadcast being down enough where I could afford to go to WrestleMania when it was out here 3 years ago. That was neat to be able to do a 2-night WrestleMania. That was cool. And, you know, it got to be at SoFi, which was, you know, I could see my old home, the Forum, from across the way. So the less cost is what I'll remember it for. And of course, now that's not going to be the case for a lot of us, but I'm good with the move to ESPN. The fact that we're going to be on ESPN, or listen to me, WWE's been ESPN when Aaron and I first became fans. That's fake sport, ESPN. And now here we are, 35 years later, whatever it is. For me, there we are.
It's got you there.
I'm 42, Marshall, and I'll be as old as I want to. So shush. And come on the panel if you want to argue with me about that. Oh wait, that's right. Anyway, next.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. We appreciate that. Like, that was what I was going to mention. Like, the amount of overseas pay-per-views or premium live events that we've gotten due to this has definitely, you know, and I love them too. You know, 2 p.m. on a Saturday or a Sunday, man. Like, let's go. Like, that's your whole day. Your whole life is still ahead of you after those things end.
Yeah.
Great. And then, you know, Netflix has taken the baton from that. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say, Simple Man Noah Foster. What do you think about the Peacock era?
First off, you brobs, I'm 33 and I've been dealing with streaming and wrestling at any time, 20% on 365 since friggin' 2000. So you both can piss off. That being said, as far as the National Broadcasting Company era of the WWE, tail end of NXT UK is something I'll always hold near and dear because, of course, me and Big G know that was our NXT, Dragunov's rise over Walter. The two-night WrestleMania, of course, WrestleMania 38, Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. That was definitely a couple of things that stood out for me. Going back, like the BG says, seeing the best for shows like WrestleMania and other stuff like that. I mean, there was some good organization, and yeah, my mother, she watches all that other drama stuff and comedy stuff, anything from The Office to crime dramas. That's her favorite genre, so good for her. When they went from 7 to 10 to 13, premium now 15, without ads 17. More so, I just do the not ads during our watch lounge just to bring people up to speed with the VTRs in case I ever miss anything in my notes. But indifferent. At the end of the day, you're going to pay for what you believe it's worth your money. So whether or not you think a WPLD from the main roster is worth $30 a month, or is it still worth $10, or not even worth that without NordVPN, it remains pretty much your own opinion. And we juggle streaming services and readjust our budget every month. And I've been dealing with streaming services related to wrestling since I think friggin' 2011, quite honestly, before even WWE Network was a thing. So, yeah, there was definitely some good that came out of the Peacock era. I think there was some good organization. If nothing else, I go back and we watch the classic NXT takeovers, NXT UK takeovers. But honestly, other than that, like you said, Gino, unless you're watching that stuff live, you're lucky to get an encore of that show before the next freaking day. And there was some good documentaries. I did see the Bray Wyatt. I did see the Cody Rhodes. But, hey, rip, if nothing else, you got NXT for a little longer and you still have Saturday night's main event, even if you do it with ads. But as far as Peacock, bye-bye WWE, kind of indifferent to me because at the end of the day, I use whatever service I need to watch whatever I want in wrestling. And I'll figure out ESPN Plus, I'm sure, some way with these yahoos that still want me to cover it. So it was a fun era, but honestly, it's a service that I can do without.
Absolutely. And there are still a lot of questions out there. I mean, there are more answers than there were when this deal was first came to light, for sure. We're not sure if you get the existing bundle with whatever existing ESPN is that you're going to get it and whatever. I think by the week of the show, I think we're all going to have those answers, and you'll see the one sheet on the app if you have it, right? Like, you'll know whether or not what your service offers is going to give it to you. I believe. I can't imagine that they would make that confusing, because you would want, at least you want people to switch over. You want to know that they're going to get the product that they're paying for. They're not going to just guess.
They're going to talk about how you could watch this, how you could watch every avenue of ESPN Plus with or not a jailbreak Fire Stick the week of, because they're going to want to make sure to flood that service as much as possible, despite the fact it's probably going to be super buggy. I've already heard very bad things about the ES Plus service. So again, we'll see what happens.
Well, and to be fair, for a new app to have bugs, that's kind of expected. Remember,
Exactly.
Netflix had been around for over a decade, and they were still having lagging with that. What was it? Wasn't the Tyson fight? It was the Floyd fight. It was the before Tyson fight. They were having a lot of laggy issues with that, and it was for people who were paying for the service. So it was like, you might as well stream it some other way if you're going to get the lag anyway.
When they did the football games last Christmas too on Netflix, there was a lot of lagging.
Mm-hmm. And they've even had some live premieres of like Love is Blind or whatever stupid stuff. If you like it, that's fine. I used to enjoy it, whatever. But like, they, even as an experienced streamer, has those issues. So that does worry me, because I didn't see that many issues with Peacock, despite their user interface being pretty trash. So, Aaron, what did you think about the Peacock era? You've been covering this. You've had your ear to the ground. You're taking the direction of the wind. You're doing all these things every day for us on NoDQ.com. Go check out those articles, everybody. After this video, Aaron, what do you think about the Peacock era?
Well, before I get to that, let me address these super chats real quick. We got one here from Screaming in Tom, who sent in $2 Canadian. Where will it be on Canada? Netflix. Everybody outside of the US, it's still on Netflix, and you can use a VPN if you live in the United States. Stephanie McMahon even advertised her own VPN affiliate link. So you can do that as an option.
Yeah, it should already be on
so
Netflix,
big.
so it's not going to switch to something else, right? So
No.
I don't
I
know.
popped that she did that because it was so taboo to do that even a year ago. And now Stephanie herself is promoting. I thought that was great.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
Shakir 9884 said NordVPN plus T-Mobile covering Netflix with ads. There you go. So you got VPN as an option. Thank you for the super chat. You can figure it out. I'm sure we all will figure it out with the ESPN app and what you need to subscribe to in order to get it. Worst case scenario, yeah, it's an upcharge. It sucks, but I think people will pay it at the end of the day.
I think I'm going to go the VPN route just because I'm like Aaron. Like I like when the stuff ends early, but the only show I get early out here is Raw. I can't watch NXT until 8 p.m. my time. Same with AEW if I choose to watch that. And SmackDown, it's on at 8 o'clock for me. So I may go the VPN route. I may have to have somebody help me figure that out.
When you VPN, it's basically watching it on your computer, and then you can probably cast it to your TV.
Exactly.
Actually, no. I
No?
tried that.
Oh,
It will not let me cast from my Mac to the television.
You have to do an HDMI cable directly.
Yeah,
that's
what about
right, that's
HDMI
right.
cable?
I mean,
yeah.
that's not
You
any
can still move
difficult.
it to your TV in some form with the cable. Then
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
And I
a
will
little
just
bit
say
more
this,
complicated.
though.
You're just sharing a display. All an HDMI cable does is share the video and audio from an interface to a different interface. That's all it is.
Yeah. And I will say this, though, for anybody that is thinking of going that route, Netflix's like ad tier isn't in their highest quality. So I think they reduced their ad tier to 720 max. So if that's an issue for you, you're going to want to explore. If you're doing the VPN, you're probably going to want to go for the non-ad tier Netflix thing. That's just a little, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So do we have any more super chats?
Yes, we got one more here from the Lonely Soldier who sent in $2. Thank you for that. It says Peacock WWE bad interface, great price at $4.99. And
Simple as that.
I agree with that. I think that nothing beats the classic WWE Network as far as the layout goes. I think they had an awesome layout with the WWE Network. Peacock, not so great, but I never had any issues with the streaming. And like Virtue said, it was the Bloodline era. And I think WWE's premium live events, for the most part, were very good to great. I rarely experienced a bad PLE from what I can remember. And that's a good thing. I can't really recall any terrible PLEs in this era. Maybe the worst one was at the start. I think I agree with Michael Wayne. Best PLE was WrestleMania 40 with Cody winning the title. Worst one was that WrestleMania Backlash where The Miz got abducted by the aliens, or not aliens, zombies, right?
Oh god, yeah, that was like better Dome era still.
Yeah, that was terrible. And
Like
some of
WrestleMania
those Vince
36.
ones were not as good. Like once Triple H took over, he shortened the shows a little bit. We got the 5-6 match cards, and to me, I enjoyed the Peacock shows, and I had no issues or very rare issues with the actual service. Like the connections seem to be good for the most part. So yeah, I'm gonna miss it. ESPN, it's a new era, more money, but that's just the way it is. And I think that fans will ultimately pay the price. They'll figure it out. They'll get their bundle. They'll find some kind of discount, and they'll get it. And things will just move on. And in the end, I think it's a good move for WWE to have the ESPN name attached to them.
Do you think at some point, like SmackDown, when their next deal is up, they'll move fully to streaming? Because I know they're still on cable. Or do you think WWE always wants to keep that, hook into cable? Because when's Amazon going to get involved? I mean, they're a pretty big power entity, and they, like Netflix, they make exclusive movies that debut just on Amazon. I mean, I don't know. Just never say that. WWE has so many ways to continue to get money. They could probably create new shows. Hey, we're going to bring back In Your House, 4 new events a year, exclusive on Amazon. You know what I mean?
Airing only during AEW pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I think they will go with whoever pays them the most.
That
if they end up exclusively on
best
streaming,
business
then
option.
that's what they'll do if they get the biggest deal.
the highest revenue stream.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So with that down, let's move on to, yes.
We'll go into the main event, right?
Yes. I was
So
going to read my monologue and then go to throw it to his super chat first.
All right, let's do that. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So guys, with that down, we're talking about Clash in Paris Sunday in the main event, which meant we knew something was happening because why is John Cena not in the main event after the Seth Riders got booted from the arena and threatened for suspension without pay, which begs the question, why do they not threaten that more often? But I digress. In the main event of Clash in Paris, Becky Lynch came in to interfere. She was that we were all suspecting maybe the third member, fourth member, however you want to look at it, as a guy. Everybody had talked about Becky at some point when this group formed towards the end of right around that WrestleMania time. So they finally pulled the trigger on it to help Seth Rollins retain by low blowing CM Punk. And then on Raw, it looked like she punched CM Punk in the face. Definitely was continuing to slap him and strike him. To which point we got CM Punk saying, "You're going to regret putting your hands on me," because he's not going to hit her. Obviously, I mean, if he was going to, he was going to then, but he didn't, so he's not going to. Which, thank goodness, we already have enough of that in pro sports. But I mean, it is what it is. It's wrestling. You could probably make something work. Dominic Mysterio seems to make that work. But SmackDown is in Chicago. So he was asking about SmackDown being in Chicago, and then we had this. And I want to ask, are we going to light it up? And let's see, our first super chat we have here is going to take it away. Are you muted?
Yes. Caleb Jacobs sent in a $3.01 super chat. Says, "I'm excited about SmackDown and AJ Lee skipping." Who's excited for AJ Lee skipping? Raise your hand. I guess I am a little bit.
Not Liv Morgan. She's not excited, but we are.
Yeah, AJ Lee, like any wrestling fan, because she's CM Punk's wife especially, and she's a former champion. Anybody that goes on and says that she's overrated, and I'm not going to mention names, they're just trying to get clickbait attention, and they're idiots. They're pure idiots. She's a buzz because of who she is, and who she's married to.
Yeah,
absolutely. And like you said, and like CM Punk said to Becky last night, she's not just reduced to who she's married to. She is, in and of her own right, a great performer. And anybody that's trashing on her obviously doesn't remember those awesome moments that we had, whether she was teamed up with Dolph Ziggler or whether she was on her own, whatever she was doing, it was top-notch stuff. So, I mean, she has to be coming back, right? Like, but then again, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are on Raw. So if they bring her back on SmackDown, it's probably going to be for some type of, big pop, obviously. It's local to where she's living because she's married to CM Punk and they live in Chicago. But I don't expect Becky to be there. So they're going to probably try and draw this out. And I think it's all signs point to WrestlePalooza on the 20th. So I want to throw it over to Noah. Noah, like, we have to be getting AJ Lee right now, right? Or are we just going to get another non-paid off tease like it's kind of becoming the norm in the Triple H post-Vince McMahon era?
So if you want to draw buzz to a big time premiere on a new streaming platform, you draw the people in and take their money. And once you have their money, then you undersell on delivery. That's what a lot of this feels like to me. I mean, AJ Mendez has been out for a long time, and the jury is out whether or not she would come back. And people want those dream matches of her versus Roxanne Perez or Rhea Ripley, or, become once again, maybe this time the WWE Women's Champion, where she was a woman in a Divas era, everyone's favorite nerd. But it does really feel like they're trying to push the narrative that we are going to get some sort of intergender warfare. CM Punk, AJ Lee versus, Seth freaking Rollins and Becky Lynch. Now the vision has come to full fruition with the newest power couple in WWE. But it just seems so obvious for WWE to do that, and for people to bring that expectation that I feel if they don't deliver, WWE's not going to care to get the money at the end of the day. But also, let's be honest, Def Rebel's probably going to screw up her fame because Def Rebel sucks. But I really want to believe at least once, just once, WWE actually does something worthwhile for the fans beyond take their money and be like, thank you so much. Here's this. Have a nice day. Like somebody out of the Philippines giving you poor quality customer service. I'm holding out that it's AJ Lee, but I'm not putting my hopes up at the end of the day. WrestlePalooza, it's nothing but a glorified premiere show on a new platform. It's not a big four. If they were going to do something massive like this, it would be closer to WrestleMania season. But can they draw on an AJ Mendez return and troll the fans enough and tease the fans enough that long? I don't know, because at the end of the day, okay, AJ Lee, CM Punk, good. You got both of WWE. They show up. We get Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins. What are you going to do from there? Am I expecting that AJ Lee is going to take the Intercontinental Championship from Becky Lynch and CM Punk's going to eventually take the title from Seth Rollins before WrestleMania? Is actually going to be, are we going to see both in the Royal Rumble next year? The Power Rangers Royal Rumble, by the way, for the women. My expectations are set low, and that's probably a good thing because sometimes WWE exceeds them. But I'm not holding my breath for AJ Lee more than a one-off appearance. And if it's one-off, I hope it's not WrestlePalooza because it sounds underwhelming. But hey, they teased us before. We'll see.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Noah. I almost want to say, how dare you put that out in the universe that WWE not deliver on AJ after this tease. But I respect a man who can give it to us straight, whether we want to hear it or not. And you always deliver that. Simple as that. Yes, I'm going to go over to Jeff now. Jeff, I mean, they even mentioned that CM Punk has a wife on the post show. I mean, like, they definitely want us to think AJ's coming back. Like, are they going to pull the rug out from all of us again?
I can't imagine they would go so far as to have Punk, and Punk goes into business for himself, on occasion. He's not completely absolved of all those sins yet. I can't imagine he would grab that sign out of the crowd in Paris without some sort of indication, right? I mean, when he was first appearing on AEW and they were chanting for Brian, he all but said, "Be patient, like he'll be here." So I can't imagine that would be a thing. And the depths they went to last night, Becky just all but she completely humiliated him in front of God and everybody yesterday. And then, he and Pierce having that moment. Pierce is a Chicago boy too. People don't remember that him and Pierce and Ace and everybody else and Cabana all came up together in the Chicago Indies before they all went their separate ways. So Punk acknowledging to Pierce about being in Chicago was not lost on me as a fan. And, if it didn't happen in Paris, because my God, that crowd would have lost their shit if it had been in Paris. There was a comment in the chat I saw. Next best place is in Chicago. Not that far of a drive to the Rosemont Horizon from Punk's apartment. We know this to be true after 2011. So I was telling my niece, she's a big AJ Lee fan. She actually cosplayed as AJ Lee for her birthday last year. I said, I wish I wasn't working Saturday if I'm scheduled, because I would love to go up and hang out at the house Friday night just to watch SmackDown with her, because we're both going to have such joy if AJ does appear. I was a fan of hers from the beginning. I actually am sending my friend a picture of her and Caitlin and I, not Aaron's Caitlin, but Caitlin, WWE Diva, former WWE Diva, from whatever Access that was, 2011, 2012, because I got to meet both of them that day. It's so cool that she may be back. I hope she does, because she's been on one of my favorites. And there was another thing in the chat. People talk about, Charlotte, Sasha, Becky coming out and really, jump starting that revolution, but give Divas a chance was after AJ cut that promo, lest we forget.
Yep.
And like Vince himself, the great and powerful McMahon, acknowledged that before anybody else did.
The only woman, everyone's favorite nerd during a Divas era, and was not afraid to tell every diva off about it. Chuck Taylor's. Respect.
Right?
Absolutely. And I think that Becky is a good person for her to go up against. Becky is a really good in-ring worker. If there's any ring rust whatsoever, like, it can be pretty masked, even though Becky did her best to mask from Nikki's ring rust, and that corner kick is going to haunt my nightmares. But I will say this to all the people who are criticizing Nikki, and Caitlin, I hope you can hear this too. I said on the last show that my girl doesn't know who Becky Lynch is, but she does know who Nikki Bella is. And after that match, my girl now knows who Becky Lynch is and will not forget who she is and who she's married to because of that event, because I had my girl watching along with me, because it was during the day and not bedtime. So all of these things to help get new eyeballs and new fans on the product is great. Now, I want to throw it over to Big G. Big G, I mean,
yes,
if she's going to come back, it's going to be a huge pop. It's in Chicago, yada, yada, yada. But, it definitely felt like they were setting us up for her coming back on Monday, with the camera angles and all that stuff. And by the way, it was Matthew, one of the NoDQ regulars, who had put that idea in the chat there, Jeff. So Big G, what do you think? I mean, like, should they keep it more of a surprise? Are they leading us too much on? Somebody in the chat says they wish they bought tickets. I mean, like, it didn't seem like they were having trouble selling out the show. Like, what's going on?
So let me take you back to a couple years ago. On a hunch, when I was still watching AEW, me and my boys went to Chicago for my bachelor party, and we went to AEW Collision on a hunch that CM Punk was going to show up there, and he did. So now we fast forward to Clash in Paris after, you know, Becky Lynch revealed to be the newest member of the Vision. And afterwards, after the show went off the air or whatever, you know, or they were still doing the post show, and CM Punk walked by, and the fan had that sign, you know, CM Punk, please bring AJ Lee back. And Punk had that kind of like expression on his face, like, that's not a bad idea. Fast forward to yesterday afternoon, I should say, stateside evening in Paris. You know, the whole segment with Punk and Lynch. You know, we were thinking Seth Rollins was coming out, and I think this was a way to tease for AJ Lee to come back. You know, CM Punk's a gentleman. He's not going to slap Becky Lynch after her multiple slap attack. I felt like she slapped him for real like a good couple times, because I was just like, holy crap, this man is just taking him like nothing. But then, you know, he like kind of stormed off, like Jeff mentioned. You know, he was just embarrassed. And then the segment with Pierce asking where SmackDown is, and he said tremendous. Like, I was like, he patted him on his shoulder and said tremendous. I was like, yeah, there's a good chance that AJ Lee's coming back on Friday. I think I read some kind of post. It's been like over 3,000 plus days since AJ Lee's been in the ring.
Yep.
So I have my hopes up, but if she doesn't, like, he could tease her that she's gonna show up for WrestlePalooza, or she could actually physically show up there because they live in Chicago. But if she shows up, I'll be happy, and I'll probably jump out of my seat just because of especially if her music hits. If you hear "Let's Light It Up," or, you know, the crowd's gonna go bonkers. Everybody at home's gonna go bonkers. You know, the streamer, the people who do their streaming, live reacting, you know, they'll be doing it. And I'm sure, like, on Raw or SmackDown the next week, you know, AJ Lee returns to SmackDown, and you see all these big streamers, you know, getting on TV and stuff like that, their reactions. So I like I said, I'm excited. But if she doesn't show up, I'm not going to be disappointed either, because, you know, there's still 3 weeks till WrestlePalooza. But if they are going this way for a mixed tag team match, AJ Lee definitely has to come back on Friday.
So Friday night SmackDown this Friday's in Chicago, huh?
Yep.
Fine, I'll humor you. I'll live stream you out the entire SmackDown episode this Friday. We'll see what happens.
It's only 2 hours now, not that big of a commitment like it used to be.
All right.
I'm on
But
Friday.
and if you get on one of their promo packages, Noah, that's all of our claim to fame right there. So we need you on that one. All right. Well, speaking of somebody who doesn't need a claim to fame, we're going to throw it over to our ORM, if we dare. Virtue, give us some insight into what they're doing with this. And
remember, just last week I said, hey, wouldn't it be something if at a WrestleMania, Punk main evented one night and AJ Lee came back and main evented the other to get the women back in the main event? And here we are talking about AJ Lee. So there's a few things right here. It should happen in Chicago. Why Punk go to SmackDown and in Chicago, and then it's obviously Rollins and Becky, Punk and who? Now, I know Punk had some interaction with Rhea Ripley in the back. That's a red herring, but as much as people love Rhea Ripley, she'd get booed. Like people would be like, what? So They have to, this has come this far where it almost has to be AJ Lee. Like I said, they could pivot and have Rhea Ripley team up with Punk, and fans would probably be, okay, whatever. But I think it has to be AJ Lee. It's too personal, especially with Rollins. And she put her hands on him, the wife has got to be the one that comes and saves him, and then she can put her hands on Becky. And why now? Why do you do it soon? Besides diehard marks, some of the newer fans might not know AJ Lee. I know there's the network and you go watch older stuff, but you almost have to bring her back and reintroduce her to the newer fans, the younger fans, especially if you're going to push her into a main event program for a title match. So I think a mixed title or mixed match, tag match is perfect for it. And why WrestlePalooza? Didn't they create this show to be up against AEW? I mean, we don't know that for sure, but like, let's be honest. Why not have Punk and his wife, Punk used to work for AEW, be the focal point of that show up against AEW? And this could be a direction from Nick Khan. I think at one point Tony Khan kind of called out Nick Khan for meddling with New Japan or trying to strike a deal with them, and Tony Khan went off on a video. Dude, you think Nick Khan didn't see that? Nick Khan is the one that wants to put AEW out of business. I don't think Triple H. I don't think any of the old. I think it's Nick Khan. I think he's like, no, you got a streaming deal. That's our, with Max, or a TV deal even with Warner Brothers. Dude, I'm telling you, this is all coming from the very top. Now, again, nothing against AEW, Noah. And I don't think that they should necessarily do this, but it does make it exciting, and it makes AEW have to step their game up. I just feel like this is all coming into motion for a reason, and I would be shocked if Friday passes and we don't see the return of AJ Lee.
Yeah.
Start hyping up a mixed tag match for WrestlePalooza, a show. Is WrestlePalooza on what?
ESPN Plus, the first one on ESPN Plus. It's the ESPN Plus premiere.
Against AEW, the day that they created to go up against AEW. I'm telling you.
Yeah, 1 hour after start time for AEW is when they're going live on ESPN. That's not a coincidence, and this rumor about AJ is not a coincidence either. I'm telling you.
And think about it.
Remember, you're gonna have Brock versus Cena on there as well. So
allegedly,
she only goes in the ring with Becky Lynch. Like, you know what I mean? That's and it's a tag match where Punk and Rollins can do most of the work against each other. So it makes it more likely if you look at it from that perspective.
Well, to your point, like you said, WrestleMania 31 was the last PLE AJ Lee was on, and then the Raw after WrestleMania, she was in a 6-woman tag, and then that was it. She has not been seen since literally March 2015. But like you also said, 3 weeks out, video package. But if they don't do some sort of AJ Lee presence this Friday, then we'll see what WWE does to really push this WrestlePalooza narrative. And to your point, Virtue, again, what AEW and WWE do should bring out the better in each other, because that's best for the business as a whole. It's not about what 3 letters you freaking idolize, support, or mark out to, or whatever you put your money towards at first. It's about the business continuing to expand for all of us that want to see it for the next generation in any company.
Yeah. That's all I got. Like, I feel like they went so far on TV, they'd be stupid not to do it. Now, could they extend the TV longer? But I mean, in Chicago,
Chicago,
come on, people would be like, "What?"
It's Chicago. It doesn't get more obvious than night and day. Salt and pepper go together. Peanut butter and jelly on any bread than this. If you don't have an AJ Lee presence on Chicago, then what the hell are we doing?
Yeah. Like I said a couple years back, just on a hunch, going to an AEW show in Chicago, thinking that Punk would show up.
Yeah. Aaron will remember, because I was basically talking to him the whole way. Dad and I were on our way to Vegas for SummerSlam, and the buzz was not anywhere about Vegas because Punk was in Chicago, and we all knew it. It was just a matter of him, the music hitting, and NoDQ damn near crashing. Didn't quite crash that time.
Right.
And that's one of those other things for Peacock era. Like, we had that lower third title graphic would come up, and then something could still happen afterwards where, that wasn't really happening in the pay-per-view era. So shout out to that for sure. Now, last but certainly not least, Aaron, if they don't do it on Friday, I mean, at this point, like, what are we even doing? But then they're teasing it so heavily, and then they've got a habit of teasing things super heavily and then trying to swerve, right? Like, I think back to the Punk or to the Seth Rollins fake injury and the things like that. So are they really not going to deliver AJ Lee after all this buildup? At least show her once, even if it's not a mixed tag.
I think she has to show up on Friday. I would be shocked at this point if she doesn't. With all this buzz, Chicago is the place to do it. And I know people are still not convinced it's happening because it's one of those believe it when you see it scenarios. And I tend to agree with that. Now, I want to get to a few super chats here. First of all, Mr. Tito sent in $5. Thank you, Tito. Check out his columns over on NoDQ. He just posted one today. He says that I'm mad that Becky can join Seth Rollins' stable, the Seth Riders, but Naomi cannot join the Bloodline. Yeah, I'm still pissed about that, Tito. I'm not going to deny it. Naomi should have been in the Bloodline, but I guess because she's having Jimmy Uso's kid, that kid will be part of the Bloodline, and I guess that's close enough.
And now she is, though, because of that blood. So now she's officially Bloodline regardless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Marriage is one thing. Bearing the future tribal chief is a whole other thing. So
They're right.
What I said 5 years ago, as long as they keep screwing, the Bloodline storyline will never die.
Right.
Those roots are never going to be uprooted.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Why would you even put this out there? What if it's a swerve and it's actually Paige's return? Look.
Look. Oh, boy.
Anybody
would be the only other one because they had an interaction backstage. But even then, they would almost still bring in AJ Lee to kind of be like ringside with him as a valet. But Rhea Ripley would do the work. Like, that would be the poor man's version of it. But, like, I think AJ Lee has to show up or people are going to be like, why would you even do this thing?
Ooh, Virtue put up a good point because guess who's not on Palooza yet, folks? Mommy, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, if they want Rhea to get booed, they'll put her in this spot. That's the way I look at it.
The reveal is anybody but AJ. Whoever the partner's going to be become an instant heel, whether they already are or not. And that's not
accurate. Aaron was about to go off on
Rhea
this too.
is the partner for a mixed tag match, but AJ Lee still shows back up and it's just kind of there, but isn't ready to work yet, and she can still get her hands on Becky, but not have to work the match. Like,
so I think that's a possibility only because of Rhea and AJ's book and not knowing how far her rehab on her body has gone.
She'll be there. She could still get her hands on, but Rhea could work the match. You know what I mean?
And you teased the WrestleMania program that you were talking about, and that Jeff, you were kind of alluding to.
Well, we've talked about it over the years that, you know, it's we talked about recently. Excuse me, that having Rhea, they have to not only shoehorn AJ back into the story after 10 years, which it's funny to me that she's been gone longer from wrestling than Punk was gone longer. That Punk was gone 7 years. It's crazy to me. But not only have to shoehorn her back into storylines, but create this, you know, this instant need for Becky and Rhea to touch. And I get that there is that history there, but having it be part of the mixed tag thing and the program with Division, it's a lot in 2 weeks. It's a lot in 2 weeks. I think it has to be AJ. And if she wasn't far enough rehab along where she could be comfortable working a match, they wouldn't be drilling it this hard into our heads, nor would ticket prices have skyrocketed for SmackDown, which has been talked about in the chat.
And Aaron, let's hear what you were going to say originally before we went.
Sorry.
I mean, not much else to add. Anybody other than AJ will be a disappointment. And Paige being out there, Paige coming back would be fine. But if AJ's like, Paige is going to be my representative, people are not like that. And Rhea Ripley's got her own storyline going on. It's going to be AJ. It's going to be the battle of the two couples. AJ's coming back on SmackDown. I'm feeling very confident in that. Now, Dave Scheffler sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Dave. Says, if bringing AJ back, why not when Becky was slapping CM Punk? The camera angle teased us to what was happening. I mean, I think I stand by what I said. I think Paris would have been the best time to bring back AJ. It would have gotten the maximum level of crowd reaction. But Chicago is the second best place to do it. It's just a matter of how you get to the right moment to bring her out there. Is Seth Rollins going to be there? They haven't really indicated anything that Rollins will even be in attendance with Becky Lynch. And you would think that the big angle is AJ coming out there and beating up Becky and getting that crowd reaction. If she just comes out there, you know, that's fine. But I feel like you got to have Punk in trouble, and he's 2-on-1, and AJ comes out there to even the odds, and you get the maximum pop from that.
Right, and that's why I was confused by why tease it to Chicago and not just do it in Paris, because like that was when it felt like somebody comes out to get even. But I feel like they want to do it at 8 p.m. Or 7 p.m. Central. They want to do it in America, so the world is all watching at the same time. Even though we could watch the show, a lot of people in the U.S., especially in the West Coast, if some of the people weren't even awake at that point in time on the Sunday before Labor Day. So I think that might be a reason why they're going to do this. But then what's the reason behind Becky and Seth wanting to go to SmackDown? Like, there's no reason for that. So like, I don't think they're going to be on the show. So it's a little, maybe it's not the perfect storm situation, but people are still excited nonetheless.
And hey, all this time, they could have done Becky and Seth together. Like, I know they did something back in 2019 briefly, but all this time, when Karrion Kross and his wife, who was his valet and always on screen together, are out of the company, we're going to make Seth and Becky the power couple that Triple H and Stephanie used to be. Another coincidence. Another petty shot. Could have done it any time in the past. Now let's do it now.
Yeah. Well, I think
bring AJ back. Well, we'll have a baby face. We'll have two versions, two power couples.
Yeah, I think they're definitely sticking it to AEW, and I don't think Nick Khan forgot about 2021 when Tony Khan said that he was the only Khan in wrestling that mattered.
Oh,
he never forgot that, I'm sure.
Some people never can let go of a tweet or an interview or a line. Good grief.
I don't think they'll forget that, or anybody that's related to the family or close to the family will ever forgive Tony for calling Vince Harvey Weinstein, regardless of if it's true or not. That was a oh shit, he did not say that moment.
Yeah.
All right, a few more super chats, then we can wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
Maybe
I forgot to mention that today is the 2-year anniversary of Tony Khan firing CM Punk and saying that CM Punk was
danger to his life.
Feared for his life.
Oh, Lord.
I think it was yesterday. Somebody had reposted it.
Everything looked bad. It made Punk look like he was just trying to man the locker room.
He totally could have gotten away with that statement, as hokey as it sounded, if they'd just not released that tape. Everybody else except Punk looked bad.
But they got a quick 15-minute pop on their ratings one time because they showed it. So I hope it was worth it, Tony Khan. All right, speaking of Tony Khan, Psycho Jet Black has something to say.
Yes, Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Thank you, Psycho. Says, only Khan I acknowledge is Khan. Who is that?
Is that the Soup Nazi?
Yeah.
From Seinfeld? Is that his name? Yeah, no idea.
We'll go with that. All right.
Damn, he got gonged. Wow.
He gets gonged for that.
Wow.
If you know that callback, you in the right room. Damn.
Aaron has been busy, and I approve.
Hell yeah, dude. That's tremendous.
At first, I thought that was a Star Trek reference. Isn't there a character called Khan?
Khan's name on that in Star Trek is Khan Noonien Finch. Apparently, it's Khan from King of the Hill, which I should know. I'm ashamed I don't know that.
Oh, whoops.
Whoopsie doodle.
All right. So City by the Bay sent in a super chat. Thank you for that. Says, is WWE waiting too long to give CM Punk the title? He got the
title.
He won the title.
But as far as the title run, the money's always in the chase, especially for a good guy like Punk. Well, good guy.
God, Vegas is like right there, guys. Just breathe for a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's got to be Punk for Seth. It's got to be Punk for
It has
Seth.
to be now.
Well, we love City here. He's a regular in the NoDQ chat room, so we appreciate it. Nonetheless, City, thank you.
Yeah.
Bold prediction. Bro, they didn't do it a little bit differently. Like Rollins cash in as the match was still going on, so Punk could never have been champion.
Yep.
And that would have kind of protected Gunther a little bit more. That kind of is weird. I know they did the fake knee thing, but they could have still, I don't know, they could have did that a little differently, I think.
Well, maybe, but Gunther's legitimately hurt, so they wanted to give him time off, and the best way is not only to have the cash in, but to have him be decisively defeated gives him a little bit of a awe. That way he might have a little babyface everything when he comes back, too.
That's true.
Every once in a while.
Maybe.
Well, yeah.
All right, last one.
All right, we got one here from Shakur 9884. Thank you for the super chat. It says off topic, Shanti, can you see Mommy Rhea Ripley going heel on EO and aligning with the Kabuki Warriors? Also, how can someone like Logan Paul turn into a babyface? Okay, first part, no. Rhea Ripley is the most over female on that WWE roster and maybe the most over person in the company after Roman Reigns and CM Punk. She's right up there in top 5. I mean, her, Roman, Punk, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes would be the top 5 right there. So no, she's not turning. And how can Logan Paul turn into a big baby face? Great question. I don't know.
I like him as the heel personally. So I don't think there's much he can do because people are going to hate him for anything else other than his wrestling ability. And whether that's right or whether that's wrong, not here to debate. But I think he does work as a heel, and he's really taking to the fact, like he's playing into the crowd stuff. He's really doing a good job embracing the heel. When he first started, he was getting booty. Wasn't like he didn't know how to manage that. So he's really doing a great job at embracing the heel in the ring when he's got the mic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only way he goes babyface is if they turn Prime into Kool-Aid, where they can drink it and spike it with brainwashing Kool-Aid, or if he actually figures out the formula for time travel and goes back and undoes the shit he did in Japan. That's it.
Accurate.
And Jeff gets the applause for that one.
Good night, everybody.
And with that down, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We're going to go around and do our plugs. We really enjoyed giving you this video today. We thank Virtue for staying on here past the 8 p.m. hour. So we're going to get out of here and do our go home. We're going to go home, as we say in Carney speak. Let's start with OBG1. Where can the people find you?
Yes. So everywhere, Original Big G1, Instagram, or Original Big G 1988, because for some reason Instagram wouldn't let me do Original Big G1.
What's up with that?
All right.
I don't know.
Thank you so much. Grayson Waller beat you to it, man.
So meta.
You got to be quicker than
Stole your
that.
handle too.
Someone else got
You
the
got to
handle
be quicker.
first.
All right. Thank you so much. Noah, where can the people find you? Potentially us, but mostly you.
Well, if they want to find me, they can find me on the YouTube and on the X, and Foster 1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out to the W fam. And as you so alluded to subtly, Papagino, you and I tomorrow will be putting the predictions to rest once again. Our predictions post-mortem for WWE Clash in Paris, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on our respective channels. So I'll see you then. And for those that didn't hear, Jeff, I will see you Friday. Let's freaking do it. Stay tuned,
That's the plan,
folks.
brother.
Stay
Why
tuned,
not?
folks. I'll be doing a live stream, watch-along coverage of this week's Friday Night SmackDown to see if AJ Lee appears on our screen, or is it just meh? Other than that, stay tuned next week. I'll be happy to be back here again. Again, always a pleasure, gents. And as always, just your life, enjoy wrestling. It's truly as simple as that.
Well done. And Jeff, where can the people find you besides trolling around at Disney World? And there it is.
Well, hopefully I'll be back at Disneyland come Thursday. It all depends what the doctor says. But in the meantime, on Instagram and Twix_Jeff Meacham, Facebook at Jeff Meacham, and YouTube returning January 4th to a not full-time, but a streaming schedule. January 4th, Aaron and I talked about some of the contents coming up on January 4th. And full speed ahead, brother. I'm here for it. Let's go.
All right.
Awesome.
Yes. I heard that Jeff has some extremely good content coming to the relaunch.
Yeah, definitely some extreme content that I wasn't prepared to have access to, but I got it.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. Should be
shit.
chaos, should be mayhem, whatever word you want to use.
Yeah, we like extreme content. Absolutely. Speaking of extreme content, our ORM is here. Where can the people find you?
X.com at NoDQ_virtue. And of course, go to NoDQ.com/merch and get some t-shirts.
Buy the shirts. All the shirts.
Probably come a little bit quicker as long as they're not around like holiday time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so for Aaron, where we got anything to plug coming up, Aaron, besides your post SmackDown show?
I'll probably be doing a Q&A this weekend, so stay tuned for that. And beyond that, just follow the socials, and maybe we'll be doing a video game stream this weekend, Gino, maybe on Sunday. I'd love to get Virtue on for one, the four of us doing a game, if we could somehow make that happen. We'll see. Never say never, right? And
Stay
maybe Big
tuned.
G or Noah can join us for one. We all got to figure out what game we can all do and have the gaming night for people.
That would be great.
For it.
And for me, guys, I really enjoyed moderating this episode. You can check me on my YouTube channel there. I'll be doing the postmortem with Noah tomorrow and doing live gaming throughout the week. So I appreciate everybody in the NoDQ Galaxy, whether you're watching live or on demand. We couldn't do this without you guys, and we appreciate your continued support. Thank you, Aaron, Virtue, Jeff, Big G, and the Simple Man, Noah Foster. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, folks.